Let's move to 3D. We're going to do a couple of things before that happens. We need to change the way we're viewing our model because it's really difficult to push-pull the walls towards us if we're looking directly at the top of them. It's going to be hard to see that they're coming up instead of down below the ground plane. So first, let's orbit. So grab that center scroll wheel, click and hold that down of your mouse, that 3-button mouse center scroll wheel, and practice dragging like this. That's going to orbit, or you can use this icon here or the letter O. But that center scroll wheel is really going to be the fastest way to orbit. So we want to look at it sort of like this. And if you want to add that shift key to your orbit, that allows you to pan so that you don't get the view of your model kind of over here. You want to pan this way. So again, center scroll wheel and then hold down the shift key will activate the pan tool. Next, let's go to camera perspective. Parallel projection is great for drawing and viewing things in 2D, but perspective is what we're going to need for 3D modeling. And that's going to become very apparent when you start bringing the walls up. Next, we're going to use the push-pull tool. But if you grab your push-pull tool like this, the letter P, or this icon here, and you try to push-pull any of these faces, you're going to get the little no-no sign, that little circle with a cross through it. And that's letting you know that you can't push-pull there because something is protected. In this case, this is part of a group. It's not going to allow you to change it. And that, of course, serves a purpose so that nothing else sticks to it. So to get in there and change it, we need to activate the select tool, so spacebar, and then you can double-click on the group, anywhere on the group, any face or edge. And now we have access to all of these faces and edges. There are a few visual cues that let you know that you are working inside the group. One of them is being able to select individual faces and edges. The other is this dashed box all the way around it. It's letting us know that that is the perimeter of the group. The third thing is that there are going to be pieces that are grayed out. There's nothing else in our model right now, but I'm going to exit out of the group for a moment to show you. If I had something outside of the group and I double-clicked to work in this group, you can see that that becomes grayed out. So anything else in our model that is outside of this group becomes gray. So that's a good visual indicator that we are working within the group. Now when I press P for push-pull, I have the ability to hover over these faces. And the very top of that red arrow is going to be the click point. So when I hover over this floor face, I have the ability to pull it up. Now, obviously, this is not what I would like to do. I'd like the floor to stay right where it is on the ground plane. So I can hit escape to let go of that. If I accidentally pull it up and then leave it there, escape isn't going to work because I finished that function. So in this case, I need to go to Edit, Undo, Push, Pull. If you ever accidentally pull your floor up, please don't try to eyeball it as you set it back down. It's almost impossible to get it right where it was, and you might end up with a small lip, sort of like this one. So just go ahead and undo, Command or Control Z to get that right back to where it was. All right, so we are looking to push-pull the walls up. So it's a click release, not a click drag. Really get into the habit of a tap, release, and then move your cursor. It should be attached to your cursor. And you shouldn't see this. If I click drag and then move my cursor away, I've set the distance with a click drag. So click release, and I can move my cursor freely. I'm going to type 8 feet, enter. So move it upwards and then type 8 feet, enter for 8-foot tall walls. Now with these, I don't need to continue to type 8 feet. I can simply double tap or double click on the rest of the walls here. So we're skipping over those doors and windows. And this is what we end up with. If you're unsure if you got the correct height, you can use your tape measure tool, T for tape, and hover over the edge. We're looking for a red square here, and you can see on the edge, not on the end points or the midpoints. We want a red square. You can see that these are all at 8 feet tall. So give it a check. Make sure they're at 8 foot so that when we draw the headers over each of these openings, they all line up nice and neatly. And then in the next lesson, we're going to add doorway headers and then windowsills. I'll see you there.